So after 3 days across the Delmarva Peninsula by myself and hanging out with my sister and brother-in-law in Washington, I have a friend of mine from Newport Richey, Dennis Paul Miller, is going to join me for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the trip. I was at a wedding and Bruce and I were at the same table and he mentioned he was going cross country. I thought, you know, hold my beer, I'm ready to go.
So we're going down the cave trail and see this tunnel. Okay, we went through that tunnel and up a steep hill for nothing. We get over here and where we're going's on the other side of the tunnel. We're riding on the Capitol Crescent Trail, which parallels the C&O Canal Towpath. But it's a nice paved trail going along the Potomac River. This is a path off of the C&O going to Potomac. Now in the real competition, is a lot faster water or?
Yeah, it's significant. Most of the courses are artificial, like completely man-made.
Okay.
You're up there are some waves and stuff. It's a little nicer.
No, we're going north, or going that way. We're past the cutoff, right?
Yeah, Crescent Trail is like maybe a mile that way. You'll see like a bridge going above you.
Okay. Paul and I have slowly been climbing as we're on the C&O Canal Towpath above the Potomac River, which you can maybe see is way down there. And that's because we're coming up to Great Falls, which I assume will get us somewhat level again. It's just been a long, slow climb. So the path has been pretty good. There's been quite a few water spots, all they seem to be. And there's the view of the C&O Canal Towpath. Tends to be the upper locks we've gone through. How many locks have we been through, Paul? 11?
11 or 12.
11 or 12, and most of the upper gates are closed and there's water above them, and then the bottom gates are closed and there doesn't seem to be as much water beneath. Yeah, this looks pretty nasty. I'm glad I dropped my swim challenge. Onward to Great Falls. Great Falls on the Potomac River. Pretty wild.
We're picking our route for our next adventure.
Yes, we're going to see if we can borrow a kayak. This is AJ. AJ's the man. And look what he caught. Holy cow. There's the fish AJ caught. Here is the hook. That is the tiny little hook.
That's what we catch our bait on.
down the Potomac River from our campsite. A rope to help us down the steep hill. There's the Potomac. Wow. Doesn't look like the cleanest thing. Pretty muddy. Not very clean. Not dirtier than the Mississippi River, which I grew up on. So this is Horsepin Branch Hiker Biker Campsite. It's our first night on the C&O Canal Towpath. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So this is the first place we've gone through the actual canal. It's an aqueduct where the canal goes over the river. So this is the Catacomb Creek, and it goes underneath the canal towpath. And we made it to Brunswick, our first town since Washington, D.C. Coming up to Harpers Ferry, we have the Potomac right through there. A little narrow strip. Here's the C&O Canal Towpath. Here's the C&O Canal, all full of duckweed. And there's the railroad that put it out of business right next to it. We are on Harpers Ferry, which is the conjunction of the Appalachian Trail and the C&O Canal Towpath. So,
West Virginia, almost heaven, Amber Ale.
Just across the river to get over to Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, and had some dinner and a couple beers. And there's the bridge. And there's the Potomac looking up. This bridge is actually part of the Appalachian Trail, and we've been riding on a joint trail for the last 4 miles.
Yeah.
And now they're separated. Everybody's got the locks put on the bridge. There's Elon. He's making his coffee for the morning. Elon has more energy than I do in the morning.
Coffee, it's not a matter of life or death. It's much more important than that.
That is Paul's stuff out of his bag. Get the raccoons open the zipper. We got his stuff. They actually got into my bag too. 3 of the guys at the camp last night at Huckleberry Hill.
I'm David from Waynesboro, Virginia.
Cesar, Richmond.
Okay. And you're all Eagle Scouts, is that right?
Yep.
You all ready? Good meeting you.
Good trip.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll follow your channel.
Okay. Bruce?
Hit like and subscribe
Yes.
down below.
Bruce Bikes America. So, I've never used it before. Haven't read the instructions, but this is a water filter I got. Hiker biker campsites all have a pump so you can get some water, and we kind of relied on that. We were about out. So I guess I'd take that and stick it in the Potomac River. Doesn't really seem to be working very well. Okay, now it's coming out. Okay. So you have to squeeze it and let it fill up a little bit. I wanted to try it once down the road, I'm sure. I may need it worse. So here comes Hugh. Hugh is one of our campsite mates here. What's your story, Hugh?
It's my 4th time backpacking, and I'm coming up from Southwest DC. I'm gonna get a 140-mile round trip. First time Harpers Ferry. It's a pleasure.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm Jeff. Just finishing up our trip from Pittsburgh. Took a train up there and just did the Gap, which was absolutely amazing. Highly recommend it. And the C&O, which has its moments. And heading to DC.
And the poison ivy identifier. He made sure everybody knew where the poison ivy was, which I'm very allergic to poison ivy, so I appreciate it. What's your story, Elon?
Jeff and I are preparing in our scout troop, and I'm an assistant scoutmaster, and we decided to go do the Gap and C&O, and maybe we'll get our scouts out here. That'd be really awesome.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for helping scouts too, by the way. So these hiker-biker campsites are about every 6 to 10 miles, and they all have a pump. And we were about out of water, and this one does not have a handle.
This is a breakfast where people can't decide what they want to eat for breakfast. If they have sausage, bacon, eggs, beans, hash browns, fried tomatoes, I don't know, something, mushroom things, and a stack of bread.
This is one of the coolest things we've seen so far. It's one of the early masonry dams built in 1856, before Abraham Lincoln was even president, and that backed the water up there for 13 miles. So the boats would come from the Potomac through this canal that's filled in.
The rescue squad is here.
Gatorade.
Orange rum or red rum?
Orange is good. Middle of the path.
And we didn't bring a chainsaw.
So I'm nearing the end of day 6 for me. Last 2.5 days have been on the C&O Canal Towpath, coming up on Williamsport, which is 100 miles in, and it's 184.5 total, and then it goes directly into the Great Allegheny Passage. There's marker 99. Finished today, and we had to go to the C&O Grill and Bar because of the name while we waited for Mark to arrive. Here's my fraternity brother Mark, who's going to be our host tonight.
We are ready to go.
We don't have to sleep in a hiker-biker campground.
He saved us from getting silly drunk
Oh, he's just
Not true.
with the locals of Williamsport.
That's right.